At the family barbecue, I discovered my daughter's toy scorched in the fire. My sister smirked, saying she needs to toughen up. I took my daughter and left. The following day, my father arrived, pleading with me to help save my sister's job. My name is Sarah, a 32-year-old single mother to my wonderful 6-year-old daughter, Emma. Her father left when she was 2, leaving just the two of us to face the world together. Emma is sensitive, creative, and deeply attached to her beloved elephant, Mr. Peanuts. She's had that worn, gray elephant since infancy. Though it was falling apart, she refused to replace it. That elephant accompanied her everywhere, sleepovers at Grandpa's, doctor visits, even grocery store trips. My family dynamics are complex. My sister, Jessica, 3 years my senior, is a regional manager at a prominent downtown marketing firm. She's always embraced a tough love approach, viewing tears as weakness and believing children should be seen, not heard. Jessica married her college sweetheart, Brad, and they have 8-year-old twin boys, Tyler and Mason, who are incredibly disruptive. Jessica dismisses their behavior as typical boyish antics, though they're often destructive. My father, Robert, has always favored Jessica. She was the athlete, the straight-A student, and the one who attended a prestigious college. I was the artistic one, barely making it through community college and becoming a young mother. Dad never let me forget which daughter he deemed successful and which he considered a disappointment. The monthly family barbecues at Dad's house have been a long-standing tradition, typically. I grit my teeth and tolerate Jessica's passive-aggressive remarks about my parenting, my career as a freelance graphic designer, and my single status. But last month's barbecue was different. Everything changed. Emma and I arrived at Dad's house around noon on Saturday. The July heat was already oppressive, and Emma clung tightly to Mr. Peanuts as we approached the driveway. She's always been reserved around Tyler and Mason, who tease her relentlessly. Jessica believes it's good for her, insisting Emma needs to learn to stand up for herself. Aunt Sarah, Tyler said, rushing over as we entered the backyard, Mom says Emma's weird because she still plays with baby toys. My jaw tightened. Emma isn't weird, Tyler. And Mr. Peanuts isn't a baby toy. Mason appeared beside his brother, smirking cruelly. Yeah, she is. 6-year-olds shouldn't carry stuffed animals everywhere. Emma is 6, not 8, I corrected firmly, my protective instincts surging. Jessica strolled over, beer in hand, wearing the smirk I'd grown to despise. Oh, come on, Sarah. The boys have a point. Don't you think Emma should start acting more mature? She's entering first grade soon. Emma pressed closer to me, clutching Mr. Peanuts tightly. My protective instincts intensified, but I strove to remain civil. She's fine just as she is, Jess. Whatever you say, Jessica replied with a shrug, her tone clearly dismissive. Boys, go help Grandpa with the grill. The afternoon proceeded normally enough. Dad was in his element, tending the grill and regaling everyone with stories of the good old days. Jessica's husband, Brad, was engrossed in his phone, offering only grunts in response to direct questions. Emma played quietly by herself on the porch swing, creating stories with Mr. Peanuts while I chatted with Dad's girlfriend, Linda, who is genuinely kind despite Jessica's clear disapproval of her. Around 4 o'clock, Emma tugged at my shirt. Mommy, I'm tired. Can we go inside for a bit? Of course, sweetheart, I replied. I followed her to the guest bathroom, where she carefully placed Mr. Peanuts on the counter while she used the toilet. Don't let the boys see him, she whispered. They might try to take him. I won't let anyone hurt Mr. Peanuts, I promised, my heart aching at her worried expression. We rejoined the group outside, but Emma left Mr. Peanuts safely inside. She seemed more at ease without having to shield her cherished toy from her cousin's grasping hands. Dinner was the usual affair, Dad's overcooked burgers, Jessica's store-bought potato salad she claimed was homemade, and Linda's genuinely delicious corn on the cob. Emma ate quietly beside me, occasionally giggling at Linda's jokes. For once, Tyler and Mason were too preoccupied with eating to bother anyone. After dinner, Dad began preparing the fire pit for s'mores, a cherished family tradition of roasting marshmallows and sharing stories as the sun set. Emma, who adores s'mores, brightened noticeably. I'll grab the marshmallows from inside, I offered, rising from my lawn chair. I'll come with you, Emma said eagerly. I want to get Mr. Peanuts so he can have s'mores too. We went inside together. Emma hurried to the bathroom to retrieve her elephant while I picked up the bag of marshmallows from the kitchen counter. We were laughing about something trivial as we returned outside. My laughter stopped abruptly. Emma's scream shattered the evening calm. There, in the center of the fire pit, was Mr. Peanuts, flames licking at his gray fur, one button I already melted, his stuffing beginning to ignite. No! Emma cried, lunging toward the fire. I grabbed her around the waist, pulling her back as she thrashed and sobbed. Mr. Peanuts. Mommy, save him. Please save him. Dad, put it out. I shouted, but my father stood frozen, poker in hand, mouth agape. Tyler and Mason were laughing hysterically. "Bye-bye, baby elephant," Mason taunted in a sing-song voice. But it was Jessica's reaction that chilled me to the core. She stood with arms crossed, smirking, watching my daughter's heartbreak unfold. "How did this happen?" I demanded, my voice trembling with fury as Emma sobbed against my chest. Tyler boasted proudly, "We threw it in. Mom said it would be funny." "What?" The word erupted from me. Jessica shrugged, sipping her beer. "Oh, relax. It's just a stuffed animal. She needs to toughen up anyway. This is actually good for her. She's far too attached to that thing." My vision blurred with rage. "You told them to burn my daughter's toy?" "I told them she was too old for it," Jessica said nonchalantly. "And I was right. Look at her crying over a piece of fabric. That's exactly why she needs to be stronger." Emma was hyperventilating, her small body shaking with sobs. Mr. Peanuts was reduced to ash and melted plastic in the fire. "She needs to toughen up," Jessica repeated, that cruel smirk unwavering. That's when I snapped. "We're leaving now." I scooped Emma into my arms, ignoring how heavy she'd become. "Oh, come on, Sarah," Dad finally said. "Don't be so dramatic. It's just a toy." "Just a toy?" I spun to face him. "That elephant has been her comfort since she was a baby. You watched them burn it and did nothing." "Boys will be boys," Jessica said with a laugh. "Maybe now Emma will play with something age-appropriate for a 6-year-old. I looked at my family, feeling nothing but disgust. Emma was still crying, her face buried in my neck, while they seemed satisfied their lesson had been taught. "Emma, we're going home," I said firmly. "But the Esmores," Dad protested weakly. "Screw the Esmores, and screw all of you." I carried Emma to the car as she continued to sob. During the drive home, she kept asking if Mr. Peanuts was truly gone forever, and through my own tears of fury, I had to confirm it was true. That night was difficult. Emma cried herself to sleep, and I lay awake, plotting exactly what I would do to Jessica. What my family doesn't know about me is that I'm exceptionally skilled at my job. As a freelance graphic designer for 8 years. Since Emma's father left and I needed flexible work to be a present mother, I've honed expertise in social media, online reputation management, and digital marketing. What began as necessity evolved into expertise. I've helped small businesses establish their online presence from the ground up, managed crisis communications for local politicians, and consulted for regional nonprofits on digital strategy. I understand algorithms, viral content, and, most critically, how to create a narrative that connects with audiences. The irony wasn't lost on me that I was about to use these skills against my sister, who, despite working in traditional marketing, never fully grasped the power and permanence of social media. Jessica was old-fashioned, favoring billboards, radio ads, and print campaigns. She often dismissed internet marketing as a fleeting trend that could never rival traditional advertising. But as I lay in the dark, listening to Emma's occasional whimpers in her sleep, I realized I had advantages Jessica didn't even know existed. I knew her professional vulnerabilities, her social media habits, and, most importantly, how to push the right buttons to make this story spread rapidly. Emma woke 3 times that night, asking for Mr. Peanuts before remembering he was gone. Each time, I comforted her back to sleep as my anger grew. By morning, I had devised a thorough plan that would have impressed my marketing professors, if they could overlook the personal vendetta. I began by taking Emma to her favorite pancake restaurant for breakfast. She picked at her food listlessly, and when the waitress brought a kid's menu with crayons, Emma just stared at it. "Sweetheart, do you want to color while we wait for our food?" I asked gently. "Mr. Peanuts always helped me choose colors," she whispered. "He liked purple best." That's when I pulled out my phone and began documenting everything. I recorded a video of Emma describing how Mr. Peanuts helped her with coloring, slept beside her pillow every night, and made her feel brave during thunderstorms. Her innocent words about their bond were heartbreaking and ideal for my plan. After breakfast, I drove to 3 different toy stores, filming Emma's reactions as she searched for a replacement elephant. Nothing was right. One's trunk was too short, another's ears were too big, and another was the wrong shade of gray. With each disappointed "It's not Mr. Peanuts," I felt my case growing stronger. The real breakthrough came when I called Emma's pediatrician, Dr. Martinez, under the pretense of discussing childhood trauma and attachment objects. Emma had been seeing Dr. Martinez since birth, and she knew the significance of the elephant. The sudden, traumatic loss of a comfort object can severely impact a child's sense of security, Dr. Martinez explained over the phone. For a child who has already experienced abandonment trauma from a parent's departure, losing their primary attachment object in such a violent, deliberate way could have lasting psychological effects. I asked if she would be willing to provide a professional statement about the importance of comfort objects and the Potential impact of their traumatic loss. Within an hour, I had a formal letter from a licensed pediatrician detailing the severe harm caused by Jessica's actions. With this professional endorsement, I began developing my digital strategy. I created a comprehensive timeline of events, gathered character witnesses. Linda, who had witnessed everything, agreed to provide a statement, and, most crucially, conducted an in-depth investigation into Jessica's professional life. Here's what I uncovered. Jessica wasn't just any marketing manager. She oversaw Morrison and Associates' family-oriented accounts, including Hartwell Insurance, a children's clothing line, a local family restaurant chain, and a daycare franchise. Her LinkedIn profile was filled with posts about understanding family values and addressing parents' deepest concerns. The hypocrisy was staggering. This woman earned a six-figure salary promoting family-friendly products, positioning herself as an expert on parental priorities, while deliberately causing pain to a child in her own family for amusement. I spent hours analyzing Morrison and Associates' website, their mission statement, and recent press releases. They had just received an award for their Protecting Childhood Memories campaign for Hartwell Insurance, which featured children with their beloved toys and pets alongside taglines about safeguarding precious things. Jessica had created marketing materials centered on protecting children's cherished possessions while orchestrating the destruction of her niece's most treasured item. The blog post took 6 hours to write, going through 12 drafts to carefully balance emotional resonance with factual accuracy. I included timestamps, direct quotes, and detailed accounts of Emma's trauma responses. I embedded a video of Emma describing Mr. Peanuts, photos of her futile search for a replacement, and Dr. Martinez's professional letter. The masterstroke was juxtaposing Jessica's recent LinkedIn posts about prioritizing families and understanding children's needs with her actions at the barbecue. I included screenshots of her promoting the Hartwell Protecting Childhood Memories campaign alongside images of Emma's tear-streaked face. I also took a step Jessica likely never anticipated. I researched her professional network through LinkedIn, Facebook, and company directories. I identified not only her direct supervisors but also key decision-makers at her major client accounts, including the CEO of Hartwell Insurance, marketing directors at her client companies, and influential figures in the local marketing community connected to Morrison and Associates. My email list grew to include over 40 individuals in Jessica's professional circle, all of whom would receive detailed information about her behavior, along with links to the blog post and supporting evidence. I also leveraged my own professional network in ways Jessica could not have foreseen. Over the years, I had worked with dozens of small, often family-owned businesses, helped mommy bloggers grow their audiences, supported local parenting groups with their online presence, and collaborated with child advocacy organizations. These weren't just clients. They were allies who trusted my judgment and cared deeply about children's well-being. When I shared Emma's story with them, their responses were swift and impassioned. Within hours of my blog post going live, it was being shared by individuals with significant social media followings, particularly those with platforms focused on parenting and child welfare. The timing was ideal. It was a slow news week, school was about to start, so parents were especially attuned to their children's emotional well-being. And recent viral stories about childhood trauma had heightened public sensitivity to these issues. I ensured everything was optimized for maximum viral impact. I incorporated trending hashtags related to parenting, family dynamics, and child psychology, and posted during peak social media hours to maximize engagement. I even A/B tested various headlines and descriptions to determine which versions generated the most clicks and shares. Jessica failed to grasp a key aspect of modern digital marketing: authenticity is paramount. People can detect inauthentic outrage from a distance, but genuine emotion, particularly when it involves harm to a child, spreads rapidly. The raw pain in Emma's voice as she spoke about her lost elephant, the clinical validation from Dr. Martinez, and the stark contrast between Jessica's professional persona and her personal cruelty created a perfect storm of viral content. By the time I finished, I had crafted not just a blog post but a comprehensive digital campaign designed to reach everyone with influence over Jessica's professional life. The strength of the approach lay in its integrity. I hadn't exaggerated, made false claims, or acted unethically. I had simply presented the truth, supported it with evidence, and ensured it reached the right audience. Jessica works for Morrison and Associates, one of the state's largest marketing firms, where she takes pride in her position, six-figure salary, and corner office. She's particularly proud of landing Hartwell Insurance, a family-oriented company focused on protecting what matters most to families, as a major client 6 months ago. I spent the entire next morning documenting every detail. I recorded the incident meticulously, took screenshots of Jessica's social media profiles where she boasted about her job and perfect family, and researched Morrison and Associates' client base and company values. Then I got to work. I created a detailed blog post titled, "When Family Fails, A Sister's Cruelty and a Company's Values." I described the incident in vivid detail, naming Jessica by her full name, Jessica Parker, and her role at Morrison and Associates. I included photos of Emma with Mr. Peanuts, screenshots of Jessica's social media posts about tough love parenting, and a carefully worded explanation of how someone responsible for marketing family-friendly products could act so callously toward a 6-year-old child. But I didn't stop there. I knew Jessica's LinkedIn profile, company email, and her direct supervisor's name from her frequent boasting. I also knew Morrison and Associates had recently launched a major campaign for Hartwell Insurance centered on protecting children's precious memories. I crafted a professional, detailed email to Jessica's boss, David Morrison, attaching the blog post. I explained that he should be aware that one of his senior managers, responsible for marketing family-oriented products, had orchestrated the deliberate destruction of a child's beloved comfort object and shown no remorse for the emotional trauma caused. I then shared the blog post on every parenting forum I could find, tagged Morrison and Associates and Hartwell Insurance on social media, and sent copies to 3 local mommy bloggers with significant followings. At 8 a.m., I published the blog post and sent the emails. By 9 a.m., the analytics showed rising engagement. The post went live during peak morning social media hours when working parents were checking their phones before starting their day. The response was swift and severe. Within 2 hours, the analytics showed a steady climb. The blog post was being shared exponentially, with an outpouring of comments from parents outraged by Jessica's actions. The professional responses, however, were what truly stood out. At 11:47 a.m., precisely 3 hours and 47 minutes after the post went live, I received an email from Jennifer Walsh, CEO of Hartwell Insurance. She had seen the blog post after being tagged in multiple social media mentions and asked if the Jessica Parker mentioned was the same Jessica Parker managing their account at Morrison and Associates. I confirmed it was, providing Jessica's employee ID number and direct contact information from business cards I had collected over the years. Jennifer's reply was immediate and firm. "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We will be reviewing our relationship with Morrison and Associates immediately." But Jennifer Walsh wasn't the only executive taking notice. By 1 p.m., I had received similar emails from marketing directors at 3 other companies partnered with Morrison and Associates. The children's clothing line was particularly incensed, as their brand centered on creating magical childhood moments. Having a marketing representative deliberately destroy a child's cherished moment was, in their words, completely incompatible with our company values. The local parenting bloggers I reached out to were relentless. Michelle Rodriguez, who ran Liverpool Mom Life with over 15,000 followers, shared the post with the caption, "This broke my heart. How can someone in family marketing be so cruel to a child? This poor baby lost her comfort object in the most traumatic way possible." Sarah Chen, from Raising Tiny Humans, with over 25,000 followers and a highly engaged audience of protective parents, generated over 300 comments on her post about Emma's story within 2 hours. She tagged not only Morrison and Associates but also several industry publications focused on marketing ethics. The story gained significant traction when Dr. Patricia Rise, a child psychologist with a popular Instagram account, amplified it further. She posted about the psychological importance of transitional objects and the potential developmental impact of their traumatic loss, including a screenshot of my blog with the caption, "This is exactly the kind of childhood trauma that creates lasting anxiety and trust issues. The adult who orchestrated this should not be working with family-oriented brands." The snowball effect was remarkable. Each share sparked more shares, each comment thread fueled new discussions, and each professional's input added credibility to the story. I meticulously tracked everything, capturing screenshots of particularly damaging comments and maintaining a tally of industry professionals expressing concern. By 5 p.m., Morrison and Associates' Facebook page was in chaos. Their social media manager was frantically deleting negative comments, but they were flooding in faster than they could be managed. The company's most recent post, ironically about their award-winning Protecting Childhood Memories campaign, had over 400 comments, most demanding answers about Jessica's behavior and questioning whether this reflected the company's true stance on children. The Hartwell Insurance situation escalated rapidly as well. Parents flooded their social media posts with comments, questioning whether the company endorsed traumatizing children and if they intended to continue working with agencies employing individuals like Jessica. Based on the increasingly frantic tone of their social media responses, their customer service lines were reportedly overwhelmed with similar concerns. What made this particularly damaging for Jessica was that it unfolded during business hours. Her colleagues, boss, and clients witnessed the crisis in real time, leaving her no opportunity to get ahead of the narrative or devise a damage control strategy. By the time she realized what was happening, the story was firmly established and spreading beyond her control. The local marketing community is smaller than many realize, and reputation is paramount. LinkedIn activity revealed that Jessica's professional network was actively sharing and discussing the post. Marketing directors circulated it to their teams as a cautionary example of what to avoid. HR departments were likely revising social media policies and background check protocols. I also sent the story to 3 local business journals covering the marketing industry. 2 reached out for additional comments, and 1 was reportedly preparing an article on how personal behavior impacts professional reputation in the social media era. The brilliance of my approach was its self-sustaining nature. I didn't need to continuously promote the story or manipulate the conversation. The facts were compelling, the emotional impact was authentic, and the professional implications were undeniable. The story spread organically through networks of parents, child advocates, and industry professionals, each group adding their perspective and amplifying the pressure. Within 6 hours, my blog post had been shared over 200 times. Morrison and Associates' Facebook page was inundated with comments from outraged parents, and Hartwell Insurance's marketing team was tagged in dozens of posts questioning whether they condoned such behavior from their marketing partners. While preparing lunch for Emma, who was struggling with the loss of Mr. Peanuts, my phone rang. "Sarah, what the hell did you do?" Jessica's voice trembled with fury. "I told the truth," I replied calmly. "You posted lies about me online. You're trying to ruin my career." "I posted facts. Every word in that blog post is true, and you know it. Take it down. Take it down right now, or I'll sue you for defamation." "Sue me for what?" "For telling people you instructed your sons to burn a 6-year-old stuffed animal and then laughed about it. Please do. I'd love to see you try to prove that didn't happen." She hung up. The next few hours were riveting to observe. Social media showed Jessica in full panic mode. Her LinkedIn activity indicated she was frantically messaging contacts, likely attempting damage control. Her morning Facebook posts, cheerful updates about her perfect family and thriving career, suddenly appeared tone-deaf amid the growing outrage over her actions. What Jessica failed to grasp was that this wasn't a crisis that could be managed with conventional PR tactics. This wasn't a misinterpreted business decision or a poorly phrased press release. It was documented evidence of Jessica deliberately causing emotional trauma to a child, indefensible in the court of public opinion, especially among parents. Around 3 p.m., Linda, Dad's girlfriend, called, sounding distressed. "Sarah, honey, I've been getting calls all day from people who saw your post. They're asking if it's true, if I really witnessed what happened." I told them yes, every word. "I hope that's okay." "It's more than okay, Linda. Thank you for telling the truth. I should have done more yesterday. I should have stood up for Emma. I keep thinking about her little face when she saw that elephant burning," Linda said, her voice breaking. "Your father is beside himself. He's been calling Jessica all day, but she won't answer him either." "How's he handling the backlash?" "Not well. He keeps saying it's all blown out of proportion, but then he sees another comment or article and gets quiet. I think he's starting to realize how serious this is." Linda paused. "Sarah, I'm proud of you for standing up for Emma. That little girl deserved someone fighting for her, and if your family won't, I'm glad you will." Her call meant more than she likely knew. Having a witness with no motive to lie or exaggerate bolstered the story's credibility. Around 4 p.m., I received a text from my friend Melissa, whose daughter attends Emma's school. "Holy, Sarah. I just saw your post about Jessica. Everyone's talking about it at school pickup. Some parents recognized Emma from your photos. They're asking if she needs anything, if there's a way to help." I hadn't anticipated the local parent community rallying around Emma. Within an hour, I received messages from a dozen families offering playdates, homemade cookies, and other gestures to comfort her. Several shared stories about their children's comfort objects and how devastated they'd be if they were lost. The school principal, Mrs. Anderson, called to check on Emma's emotional well-being, having seen the post through the parent network. She offered the school counselors support if Emma needed someone to talk to. The most satisfying development came at 2:30 p.m. when an unknown number called. "Is this Sarah Mitchell?" "This is David Morrison from Morrison and Associates." My heart raced. This was Jessica's boss, the company owner. "Yes, this is Sarah. Ms. Mitchell, I'm calling about the blog post concerning my employee, Jessica Parker. I need to verify some details." For 20 minutes, David Morrison questioned me thoroughly about the barbecue incident, requesting timestamps, witness names, and specific quotes. He asked about Emma's bond with the elephant, the extent of her emotional trauma, and whether I had video or photo evidence of her distress. I provided everything: Dr. Martinez's letter, contact information for Linda and my neighbor who saw Emma's breakdown that night, and videos of Emma discussing Mr. Peanuts and searching for a replacement. Ms. Mitchell, Mr. Morrison said, this behavior is entirely contrary to our company's values. We've built our reputation on supporting families, and what you've described is unacceptable. I understand you have a business to protect, I replied carefully. This isn't just about business. I have grandchildren Emma's age. What Jessica did. He paused. She's been suspended pending a full investigation. Depending on our findings, her employment with our firm may be terminated. After he hung up, I sat in my kitchen, feeling a mix of satisfaction and disbelief. I knew the story would have professional consequences for Jessica, but hearing the company owner express such outrage exceeded my expectations. The evening brought further developments. A local news blogger who had covered the story called for a follow-up interview, noting that his article had gained significant traction. His editor wanted to explore the story's broader implications. This has really struck a nerve, he said. We're receiving comments and emails from parents across the region sharing their own experiences with family members who dismissed or belittled their children's attachments to comfort objects. He was right. The comment sections on posts about Emma's story had become forums for parents to share similar experiences: grandparents discarding beloved toys, aunts and uncles mocking children for their attachments, and siblings destroying cherished items for their own good. Emma's story had grown into a symbol of a larger issue: the clash between adults who understand child psychology and development and those who cling to tough love approaches that are often just cruelty, masquerading as parenting philosophy. 20 minutes later, my phone rang again. It was Dad. Sarah, honey, you need to take that post down. Jessica's boss called her into his office. She might lose her job. Good. Don't say that. She has a family to support. So do I, Dad. And yesterday? You all stood there and watched my family get hurt for entertainment. It was just a toy. Sarah. You're being unreasonable. I hung up on him. By evening, the story had spread further. A local news blogger had picked it up. And Morrison and Associates issued a statement that they were thoroughly investigating the matter and took allegations of behavior contrary to their company values very seriously. Jessica called me 4 more times that evening. I didn't answer. The next morning, Dad appeared at my apartment at 7 a.m., looking like he hadn't slept. Emma was still in her pajamas, eating cereal and clutching a new stuffed dog I'd bought as an emergency replacement, though we both knew it couldn't replace Mr. Peanuts. Sarah, please, he said the moment I opened the door. You have to take that post down. Jessica's been suspended pending investigation. If Hartwell pulls their contract, the company could lose millions. She'll definitely be fired. Come in, I said wearily. Emma, finish your breakfast, sweetie. Dad sat heavily at my kitchen table, looking older than his 68 years, with dark circles under his eyes and disheveled hair. This has gone too far, he said. I know what happened was wrong, but you're destroying your sister's life over a stuffed animal. No, Dad. Jessica destroyed Emma's sense of security and trust with her need to be cruel. I'm just ensuring there are consequences for that choice. She didn't mean for it to go this far. The boys just got carried away. She told them to do it. She stood there smirking while my daughter screamed. She showed no remorse. Her only concern was that Emma wasn't tough enough. That's not an accident or kids getting carried away. That was deliberate cruelty. But she's your sister, and Emma's your granddaughter. Where was your concern for family when she was sobbing over her burned toy? Dad sat in silence for a long moment, staring at his hands. Finally, he looked up with pleading eyes. What do you want? What will it take for you to forgive her and take the post down? I had anticipated this question. I want Jessica to personally apologize to Emma, a sincere apology, not some half-hearted, sorry if you were upset, excuse. She needs to acknowledge that what she did was cruel and wrong. Done. What else? I want Tyler and Mason to apologize too. And I want Jessica to actually parent them instead of letting them run wild and hurt other kids. Okay. What else? I want you to admit you failed Emma yesterday. You're her grandfather, and you watched someone hurt her and did nothing. His face flushed. Sarah, do you want me to take the post down or not? Fine. Yes, I should have stopped it. And I want a new Mr. Peanuts for Emma. Dad looked confused. A new elephant? Sarah, you can just buy, no. The original Mr. Peanuts was special because Emma's father gave it to her before he left. It was the only thing she had from him. You can't replace that with a store-bought toy. Dad's face paled as the true significance of the loss sank in. I want Jessica to find the exact same elephant, same brand, same model, same everything. She needs to pay whatever it takes, whether that means contacting the manufacturer, searching eBay for vintage toys, or hiring a private investigator. She destroyed something irreplaceable, so she must move heaven and earth to replace it. Sarah, that might be impossible. Then she'd better hope she still has a job to fund the search. Dad fell silent for a long time. Emma, who had finished her breakfast, was coloring at the coffee table, occasionally glancing at us with worried eyes. And if she does all that? Dad asked finally. If Jessica apologizes, the boys apologize, she finds the elephant, and we all admit we messed up, will you take the post down? I pretended to consider, though my decision was clear. If she does all that and makes a genuine effort to be a better aunt to Emma going forward, then yes, I'll take it down. Dad's shoulders sagged with relief. Thank you, Sarah. I'll talk to her right away. After he left, I sat beside Emma on the couch. Mommy, is Aunt Jessica in trouble? She asked quietly. Yes, sweetheart. What she did was wrong, and now she has to face the consequences. Will she find me a new Mr. Peanuts? She's going to try very hard. Okay. Emma returned to her coloring, still visibly sad. The next few days were eventful. Jessica called twice, both times yelling before hanging up when I calmly reiterated my conditions. Dad called daily with updates on Jessica's progress in meeting my terms. Meanwhile, the internet remained relentless. The blog post had been shared over 1,000 times, and several parenting influencers wrote posts emphasizing the importance of respecting children's comfort objects. Morrison and Associates faced intense social media backlash, with rumors circulating that Hartwell Insurance was reconsidering their contract. On Thursday, exactly 1 week after the barbecue, Jessica appeared at my apartment. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, unwashed hair, and wrinkled clothes, but she carried a small gift bag. Can I come in? She asked quietly. I let her in. Emma was at my neighbor's apartment playing with their daughter, so we were alone. I found it, Jessica said, offering the gift bag. It took 4 days and cost $800 between eBay fees and overnight shipping from a collector in Oregon. But I found the exact same elephant, same year, same manufacturer, everything. I carefully opened the bag. Inside was an elephant remarkably similar to Mr. Peanuts, though noticeably newer and cleaner. It's perfect, I admitted. Look, Sarah, I was wrong. What I did was cruel, and I'm sorry. I should never have told the boys to throw Emma's elephant in the fire. I should never have laughed while she cried. I thought I was toughening her up, but I only hurt her. It was the first genuine apology I'd ever heard from my sister. I talked to Tyler and Mason too, she continued. They understand what they did was bullying. And they want to apologize to Emma. Brad and I are enrolling them in counseling because, honestly, their behavior has been worsening. And I've been ignoring it. I was stunned. Jessica admitting fault and acknowledging her son's issues was unprecedented. I know I've been a terrible aunt, she said softly. I treated Emma like she's weak because she's sensitive, but sensitivity isn't weakness. She's incredibly strong, dealing with more in her 6 years than most kids face in their entire childhood. Why are you really here, Jess? I asked. Is this just about your job? She paused for a long moment. I got fired yesterday. Morrison let me go, and word is already spreading through the industry. I might not be able to get another marketing job in the city. I'm sorry, I said, and surprisingly, I meant it. No, you're not. And you shouldn't be. I deserve this. I was so obsessed with being the successful sister that I forgot how to be a decent human being. I hurt a child, my own family, because I thought it would teach her a lesson. What kind of person does that? Someone who's learning from their mistake, apparently. She looked at me hopefully. Does this mean you'll take the post down? Let's see how Emma reacts to your apology first. We went to get Emma from the neighbor's apartment. She hid behind my legs when she saw Jessica but brightened at the sight of the gift bag. Emma, Jessica said, kneeling to her level, I owe you a big apology. What I did at Grandpa's was wrong. I shouldn't have told Tyler and Mason to burn Mr. Peanuts, and I shouldn't have laughed when you were crying. I hurt you badly, and I'm truly sorry. Emma peeked out. Are Tyler and Mason sorry too? They are, and they want to tell you themselves. But first, I have this for you. Jessica offered the gift bag. It's not the same as your Mr. Peanuts, but I tried hard to find one just like him. Emma cautiously took the bag and pulled out the elephant. Her face lit up. He looks just like Mr. Peanuts. She gasped. He's very similar, Jessica agreed. And I promise, no one will hurt this one. If Tyler or Mason even look at him wrong, they'll be grounded for a month. Emma hugged the elephant tightly, then looked at Jessica. Thank you, Aunt Jessica. You're welcome, sweetheart. And Emma, you're not weak for loving your toys or weird for having feelings. You're perfect just as you are. Emma smiled, her first genuine smile since the barbecue. After Jessica left, I deleted the blog post and contacted the news blogger, asking him to remove his article. The damage to Jessica's reputation in the marketing industry was done, but I had promised to take the post down if she met my conditions, and she had exceeded them. Family barbecues resumed a month later with new rules. Tyler and Mason apologized to Emma at each visit for the first few, and Jessica actively supervised them instead of letting them run wild. They're still energetic boys, but no longer cruel. Emma named her new elephant Mr. Peanuts Jr., and though she loves him, she occasionally misses the original. Still, she's resilient, learning that people make mistakes and what matters is whether they try to make amends. Jessica never secured another marketing job in our city. She took a position with a smaller company in another state, with her salary nearly halved. She sold her house and moved the boys to a new school district. I don't feel entirely bad about it, actions have consequences, and she learned that the hard way. Surprisingly, our relationship is now better than ever. Without the constant competition and her need to prove herself superior, Jessica has become someone I enjoy being around, more humble, thoughtful, and genuinely striving to be better. Dad and I had a long talk about his favoritism and how it fueled Jessica's need to outshine me. He's working to be fairer and more supportive, though it's a work in progress. Emma is thriving. She starts second grade next month, and while still sensitive, she's growing stronger. When a classmate mocked Mr. Peanuts Jr., she responded, "My elephant makes me happy, and happy is better than mean." I've never been prouder. Some think I went too far. Others think I didn't go far enough. But I know this, no one has the right to hurt my child for entertainment or to impose their warped version of a life lesson. Jessica learned that the hard way, and I'm glad she did. Family isn't about blood, it's about love, respect, and protection. Those who burned my daughter's toy and laughed weren't acting like family. But those who apologized, made amends, and changed their behavior earned their place back in our lives. That's a lesson worth $800 and a ruined career. Emma still takes Mr. Peanuts Jr. everywhere, and I told her she can keep him as long as she wants. Some things are worth protecting, no matter what others think. Some battles are worth fighting, even when they come at a cost to everyone involved, especially when your child's heart is at stake. Update: it's been 6 months since I first shared this story, and many of you have asked for an update, so here it is. Jessica found a job with a nonprofit focused on child welfare advocacy. The pay is significantly lower than her previous role, but she says it's the most fulfilling work she's ever done. She has genuinely changed, and her relationship with Emma has transformed completely. Emma now asks to spend time with Aunt Jessica, something unimaginable before. Tyler and Mason are doing much better too. Counseling has helped, and they've channeled their energy into sports rather than bullying. They even protect Emma at family gatherings if other kids tease her. Emma is flourishing. She's made friends at school and gained remarkable confidence. She still cherishes Mr. Peanuts Jr. but is exploring other toys and activities. Her teacher describes her as one of the most empathetic children in her class. As for me, I learned a vital lesson. Sometimes, being a good parent means being willing to burn bridges to protect your child. I don't regret a single action I took, as it led to real change and genuine healing for our family. To those asking if I feel bad about Jessica losing her job, I don't. She chose to hurt a child, and choices have consequences. That she used those consequences to become a better person is to her credit, but it doesn't erase the fallout she earned. To parents facing similar situations, trust your instincts. If someone is harming your child, even family, even if they claim it's for their own good, you have every right to protect them. Your child's emotional well-being outweighs keeping peace with toxic relatives. And to those who think a stuffed animal is just a toy, you're missing the point. It was never about the toy, it was about deliberate cruelty, lack of empathy, and dismissing a child's feelings. Those matter, regardless of their form. Thank you to everyone who supported us through this ordeal. The outpouring of love and understanding from strangers online, when my own family let us down, meant more than you'll ever know.